Welcome everybody, my name is Georgina Cole and welcome to this Birds of the Red Sea awareness video. This webinar is part of Birds of the Red Sea project, which is a citizen science program aimed at engaging the community as citizen scientists in the monitoring and conservation of the Red Sea birds. According to the Egyptian Ornithology Rarities Committee, 466 species of birds have been recorded in Egypt. 2/3 of these birds are migratory species that pass by on their way between Africa and Europe in the spring and autumn, and 1/3 are resident and breed in the area. 300 species have been recorded on the eBird database for Bahr Al Ahmar, which is Arabic for the Red Sea. We will talk about eBird later on. Each species of bird falls into a group, and there are 50 groups of birds recorded for the Red Sea. Pictured here is a common sandpiper, which belongs to the largest of the groups, which is shorebirds. Why do we need birds more than they need us? Birds play an important role in the functioning of the world's ecosystems. This directly impacts human health, the economy, and food production. Let's look at more details. Birds control pests. A recent study showed that birds eat 400 to 500 million tons of insects per year. The kestrel, pictured here, is the farmer's friend, as they, like many birds, eat beetles, grasshoppers, and other insects. Birds pollinate plants. Around 5% of the plants humans use for food or medicine are pollinated by birds. The pollen is transferred from flower to flower on the bird's bill as they feed on nectar. Birds are nature's clean-up crew. Vultures arrive within 1 hour to scavenge on a carcass before deadly diseases start to develop. Crows, like the hooded crow here, are often seen clearing up roadkill. Birds spread seeds. As the birds fly, the seeds they have eaten are dispersed through their droppings, which also gives a nice coating of fertilizer. Birds keep coral reefs alive. Seabird droppings help to fertilize marine ecosystems like coral reefs. It's wonderful when you go out to sea, when the rocks are exposed at low tide, and the seabirds gather noisily together in large numbers. Here we have the white-eyed gulls. So what do we need to look for to identify a bird? Let's talk about size. You can see this group of birds are all different shapes, colours and sizes. Try to compare the bird you've seen with the size of another species you recognise. Is it small like a sparrow, larger like a crow, or big like a heron? Is the silhouette slender or round? Does it have a large or small head? Does it have a long neck? Let's look at colour. This stunning Nile Valley sunbird male changes into this iridescent, colourful breeding plumage at this time of year, with a long black tail. To identify a bird, look at the colour of the head, back, wings, underparts, bill, and tail. What shape is the bird's bill or beak? Is it long, short, curved, straight, stubby, or slender? The main picture is a western reef heron that loves to fish. Above, to the left, is a common kingfisher, often seen hovering above the lagoons and diving into the water with a splash, emerging with a fish. The kestrel to the right has a hooked beak for its prey. How long are the legs? How are the feet? Are they webbed like a duck or long like a heron? Do they have claws with long talons like the osprey at the top? What colour are they? The kestrel is a passerine, which means it has 3 forward-pointing toes and 1 reverse-pointing toe, used for perching. Observe what the bird is doing. Is it probing the ground for food like the spur-winged lapwing at the golf course? Is it alone or in large groups? Does it hover? Is it gliding high in the thermals above? Where does the bird live? Did you see the bird in the trees or hedges? On the ground, in the shadows, in the desert, on the shoreline? All these questions help to identify a bird. Take some watercolours and paint pictures. The best way to learn the different shapes of birds is to draw or paint them. Keep a diary. Take pencil sketches and write down notes about everything you see and the date. Take a guidebook with you, or download an online bird ID guide, or print the checklists of the birds in your area from eBird. All the photographs and hundreds more can be found on the Facebook page, Birds of the Red Sea. Let's talk about some useful tools. eBird is a worldwide database and I use it all the time. Sightings can be recorded by anyone, and everyone can search for different species by country, for example Egypt, by region, so Bahr Al Ahmar, the Red Sea, or by a hotspot like Gouna. There are many locations recorded along the Red Sea by tourists on holiday at their hotel. You can set your language preferences, including Arabic. And when you click on any of the species in the list, you can see more detailed information. Many species look different if they're male or female, juvenile. Let's look at an example. This is the data for the white stork. You can check how many observations have been reported in your area and see all the hotspots in the region on the map. And check what time of year the birds are here. On this chart you can see the birds are migrating in the spring and returning in the autumn. You can also listen to a recording of the sound that the bird makes. And bar charts can be downloaded to show which species to look out for each month. Alerts can also be set for when rare sightings are reported. The Merlin app can be downloaded to help with ID2 onto your phone. Either answer 5 questions to describe the bird and where and when you saw it, or upload a photograph. It's also a field guide with suggestions of what to look for in your area. You can also download an app from the Ornithological Society of the Middle East, which shows all the species with Arabic names. On Red Sea Project website, there are photographic guides to download in English or Arabic in the e-library, covering about 100 species cited here and all photographed in the Red Sea, with the English or Arabic names and the scientific name. So let's talk about the photographer's code of conduct. It's important that we always have respect for birds and their habitat. Avoid disturbing or causing stress to the birds. A photo of a flock of birds flying away from you is not a good photo. Wear natural colours to blend in with nature, so it is harder for the birds to see you. No sudden movements and move as slowly as possible. Keep as quiet as possible, no shouting, no mobile phones ringing. Never disturb nests, keep your distance. Follow the blog on Red Sea Project's website for the latest news on all marine conservation and safe diving articles. Red Sea Project website is available in 11 languages, and they are aiming to increase this to 15 languages by mid-2021. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and happy birding!